Hey guys, welcome back. This is Double Cube Tutorials here with a brand new fresh Cinema 4D tutorial. And in today's tutorial, we're going to be doing some animation, this time a cool logo reveal. So let me just show you what we're going to be creating and then we can get on with the video. So that was what we were going to be creating, and this is an empty project file which I have, and we can start over with. Just one thing I would like to say is that I've been rendering something over here, so please don't mind that, and if it pops up in the middle, just ignore that please, because just something I was working on. Anyways, let's begin. So the first thing I would like to do is go to my render settings and change it to 1280 by 720 frames. Frame rate is 30 frames per second, and then we're going to go and we want to grab a cube, and we're going to set the size Z to 50, and we're going to set the size X and Y to 300, so we have a very big cube. Okay, once we're done with that, we want to break this cube into a number of pieces. So there are three ways to do it. There are three plugins which you can use: Thrauzy by Nitro 4D, Explode, and the other one which I'm going to be using is this one, Nitro Blast. So you guys can use whatever you want, but I'm just going to be using Nitro Blast for this. So I'm just going to go select the cube, and here in the plugins I'm going to go Nitro Blast, and I'm going to choose Nitro Blast Main. Okay, and here in the pieces we want to set that to 500. Of course you guys can put whatever value you want, and then we want to just do fracture. So now what it does is, if you can see here, it is calculating and breaking up the cubes into a number of pieces. Now the only thing that I use Nitro Blast is because it cuts it faster than Thrauzy. Okay, because Thrauzy is a little slow, and I haven't tested it with Explode. So yeah. Anyways, so once we have this, we can see here that we have all these pieces and whatnot, all crazy stuff, but let's just not do anything. So let me just show you what actually has happened. If I go to display and choose Gurao shading lines, you can see that it has been like scrabbled and thrashed up into quite a large number of pieces, and this is what we're going to be using to create that reveal. So anyways, the first thing I want to do is I want to change the textures over here. So I want to go into the blue one, which is the outside. Here in the color channel, the default out, I want to set that to a decent black color. So say 25, 25, and 25. Okay, then we want to check on a reflection, and we're going to go to texture, and as usual we want to set it to a Fresnel, and we're going to set the brightness of this down to 10%, and the mix strength we're going to set that to 20%. Okay, and then we want to go and duplicate this material. So, and we want to make this one a color for the text. So I'm just going to name this text, and here in the color channel I'm going to go to this color and choose just a random color, so say something like that. Okay, and we're going to get into this one, and we're going to do quite a lot of changes on this in one. So in the color, we're going to set the G value to 10. Oops, 10, so that we get a nice bright red color. And then we want to go to the luminance channel, and we want to set the G value to 80, and the B value to 10, which gives us this nice orange. Then we want to get into the reflection channel, and we're going to set the brightness to 10, and then we want to go to texture, and we want to bump in a Fresnel, and then we want to go set the mix strength of this to 20, and then we want to go into the glow settings, and we want to set the inner strength to say probably 150, and the outer strength we want to set that to 20, and then when just wait for this to load. And now you can see here we have this bright blasting lava style glow, and then we can close this up. And now if I take one of these pieces and just move it out, you can see that it kind of glows there. So let me just save this for now. Okay, cool. The next thing is I want to set up the camera movement, and then we can get on with the animation. So let's go grab a new camera. Let's look into the camera. Okay, so what I just did is I just went and got the camera from my so once I took the camera, I just extended the number of frames to 95 frames, and on frame 0, these are the coordinates that are there, so you guys can just pause the video and then copy down these values. And then we want to go further and further to frame 80, and let's go back to frame 80, and we want to set Z to -800 with everything else zeroed out. And then we want to go to frame 95, and we want to zoom out to 2000, so -2000. And we can take this Nitroblast cube and probably go to mesh axis center and center axis 2. Looks like that doesn't work because we can see that it's a little bit below the below the axis over here, but that's completely okay. And so let's go back to our first frame over here, and if we play, we can see that we have our cubes falling down, but that's not what we want. So we need to drop that down, and we need to go here into the dynamics, and we want to go to the dynamics and set that to off. And then if we go, let me just go to option, level of detail, and set that to low, so we get a fast rendering. So we can see that it is still moving, and that's because we need to go to this one, and we want to disable it. No, let's not disable it. Where? Oh, we need to go this and set this to off. Correct. I don't know why I didn't do that. Oh, looks like something is wrong. Here in this dynamics, you want to set this. You want to set this to on, and you want to set this to off. Now let us try. Oh, crazy hell! It's still falling. This is on. This is off. Let me just set this to off. Let me just, you know what, let's actually delete these two dynamic tabs, and then what is still making it fall? Control Z that. Okay, so looks like this dynamic tab has to be there all times. So what we are going to do is, okay, let's take care of that part later. So anyways, we want to go to this, get on with the tutorial. So let's select this cube, and we're going to go to MoGraph effector, and we want to choose a random effector. And here in the random effector, we want to go to fall off, and we want to set that to a sphere. Let me just get away from the camera view so we have a better look. And we're going to set the size on the X to 350. Y to 330, and we're going to set this to 290 for the Z, and here in the fall off, you want to set that to 10, and we want to go into the parameters, and we want to uncheck position, we want to check on scale. Okay, and here in the scale we want to add some values, so let us just move this, and are we seeing some changes? No. So what if I do increase them and decrease them? So sorry, we want to go and choose absolute scale. No, I'm going to set the X over here to -7.17. So now we need to make sure that this is being affected. So if we just check on Nitroblast cube, and you go to let's see, where is that? In the dynamics cube, oh yeah, we need to go and drag these two inside a null by pressing Alt G, and then here we want to set the deformer type to object, and then we can see our animation or changes here. Okay, so random, so I've used these values because I think these are the ones which I'll be needing to get the perfect effect, but you guys can play around and get another values. Anyways, so for the X is -7. And then for the Y, we're going to set that to 1.72. And for the Z, you want to set that to -1.32. And now you can see that the pieces are like almost, what do you say, disappearing. And that is what we want. And let me just take this and let me just duplicate this random effector. And then I'm just going to go and to the here, and I'm just going to check on rotation. And I'm just going to go to the rotation here, and on the P rotation, I'm going to set that to 850. That is it. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to go and okay, let me just rename this. I'm going to call this rotation, and this one is going to be called scale. Okay, and let me just put the scale up. Now what we want to do is we want to go and let's just zero out these values. Okay, and let me just uncheck these for a second, and okay, that's perfect. Okay, so we want to go and to the rotation, and we want to go and set that. Let's actually go and select both of them. Let's go to the 0 frames, and we want to set the Y to -200. Okay, and here the rotation, we want to set that to -180, so it is a little bit up. And then we want to set the X to 20, so it is a little bit more to the right. And then we can select these both. We can go to the 0th frame. Let's go into our front view, and we want to move these guys down until we stop seeing any changes over here. And then we want to hit a stopwatch, and then we want to go 70th frame, and then we want to just go take these and move these guys diagonally up until we do that, or at least we can zero out these values to. Okay, looks like zeroing out does not work, so let's just go and manually place them. So we just want it to just disappear, and we can drop it over there. So now let's get back to our front view and let us see what we have. So let me just get into the camera view. We can hide these two things, the effectors, and let's just play it out and see how it goes. So we can see this slight transition over here. Now let me just go here and let's press Ctrl R, and we can see that we have this nice awesome glow. Okay, yeah, so once this is done, we can go back to our front view, and we can go back and we can add in our text. So we can just go to MoGraph, we can go to MoText, we can go to text. Let's go to the display options and go to cameras, not camera, sorry, option, level of detail, and height. Okay, and then we want to go just I'm going to put in DC for me double cube, and you can choose any font. I'm just going to use this one for now. You guys can use any font you want. I think the last time I used was BBAS, and we want to drag this down, make sure that it is in between, and we can increase the height like a lot, increase until it kind of almost touches it. And then we can go to our top view, and we can set the depth of this to 40 because the depth of the cube was 50 when we first created the cube. And let me just move this back, and we can place it right in the center. And I'm going to take this blue color text that we created, and we can drop it on this MoText, and we can go to F1, and if you wish you could add some caps. So fillet cap and a fillet cap. I'm just going to set the steps to 3 and the radius to say 2. Steps 3, radius of 2. Perfect. And then let us just see how it looks. Okay, and then let's press Ctrl R, and we see this awesome logo reveal that we have over here, and that is pretty much it. And one thing we want to do is, after we go here around after the 80th frame when everything is blank, we want to go to the mode text and we want to go to coordinates, and in the H rotation we want to set a keyframe, and then on frame 90 we want to set this to give it a complete 360-degree rotation, so something like that. Or probably you could I think I would like to give it a negative 360, because it's nice if it rotates from the left to right. Okay, so once we're done with that, we can go into the render settings and go to anti-aliasing, and we're going to set that to best. We can put in a ambient occlusion, and then here we can go and put it as PNG and alpha channel. You can change the depth to 16 to get more color, and you can save it. So once we're done with that, we want to render out all the whole 19 frames, and then once we are done with that, we will jump into After Effects and see what is to be done. After Effects, and this is the old project file that which I used to create the tutorial, and sorry, not the tutorial, the intro. And anyways, let's grab a new composition. So before that, let's just import our footage. So here is the logo sequence, which I had rendered out, and we can take this and we can drop this in a new composition, and I'm just gonna go name this composition main. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to go and create a background, and then we just make it any background, and we can bring this down, and here we want to add a ramp effect. So let's just pull this audio thing up. So we're going to add a ramp effect. So let's gradient ramp, and you can dump it on this layer. And we're going to set this to a radial ramp. We want to scatter it at 50%. And here we want to set this the grade to say around 35. And here we want to bring this down pretty much. So that, and we want to bring this in the center, and we want to take this and we want to scatter this out. Actually, let's just bring this down as well. Okay, so now we have a decent background. Okay, and then we want to go to the first frame. We want to duplicate this. We want to name the bottom one freeze, and we're going to go right click and go to, oops, I'm going to go here, I'm going to right click, go to time, and we're going to freeze frame. And then we want to go to about 2 minutes and 10 frames, and then we want to go and we're going to press Alt square bracket, which squares that down, which trims it to that much, and then we can hide this for now. So what we want to be doing here is we want to get those light stuff. So let me just zoom in a bit. Yeah, and then we want to go to our pen tool, and we want to press Alt Y to create a new solid. And once you create this white solid, we're gonna go. We want to uncheck the eye over here, so we can see this. And with this white solid layer selected, we're going to go to the pen tool and we're going to start drawing out these things. So let me just make more room over here so we can cover the whole object. Okay, so G is the shortcut to get the pen tool, and let me just put this to full. Okay, and we're gonna go click there, and I'll click here, and click here, and I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna click there again, and then we're gonna go and click on this again, and then we're gonna go and click here, I'll click here. No, actually let's Control Z everything out. And now what we want to do is we want to start drawing in the path, in the direction that we want those laser lines to go. So I want it to start from here for me for the first one. So this one, we're going to check on this, let's click on this, and then let's click here, and then click here, and then click here. Okay, so it's gonna go like this for the first one, and for the second one we want it to start from, let's say we want it to end here, so we want it to start from here as well. So let's just zoom in. H on the keyboard gives the hand tool, and you're gonna press G again, and we want to go and we're gonna put this over here, and then we're gonna zoom. Whoa, what happened? Let's zoom in here. Then we want to click here, we want to click here, and we want to go completely down. We want to click here, and then we want to close this, and we want to make one more. So what we want to do is we want to go and click here again. Let's Control Z that. Let's click and let's move. You can click here. You can move these points later on, so that's not an issue. And I want to click here and here. And let's and here. So now if you see, we have, press M on the keyboard, we can see we have these three masks. So now I'm going to go to the live selection tool. I'm going to select this point and I'm going to start. Sorry about that. Okay. We're going to select this point, we're going to move it up. Let's, this kind of looks like a tedious process, but looks like we don't have a choice. And we're going to select this point and move it up over here. Excuse me. And we're going to go up. Okay. And we want to select this point, move it up over here. We want to select this point, move it up over here. Okay, that looks pretty much it. Looks pretty cool. So let me just bring this back down. Okay. So once that is done, we're going to go create a new layer by pressing Ctrl Y, and I'm going to name this particular. Okay. And I'm going to go and choose the particular effect by Trapcode. And here, what we want to do is we want to go to the emitter. Let's actually not do that. Let me just explain what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to go to the emitter over here, and we're going to set this to lights emitter type. Now it says in this module, lights are used only as particle emitters to create a new light, whatever, dash. Okay. So what we are trying to do is we want to go to this options over here, and we want to set light name starts with emitter. We want to change that to light. Okay, and then we want to press go. We want to go to layer, new light, and we want to choose a point light with an intensity of 100. And we want to set this to light 1. So what we are saying is that all the particles must follow this light, and that's why we need to go to the options and say which light it wants to start with. So let me just name this light 1. So any light emitter which has the name light 1 will be attracted, will be the main source for this particular effect to follow with. Let me just go in detail. So now if you can see, if I move this light, we have these particular also moving. So now we want to give this the path of a path for the light. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this white solid, and I'm just going to rename this mask for a second, and I'm going to press M. I'm going to go to the mask path on frame 0. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go to light here, and I'm going to press P on the keyboard. I'm going to select this. I'm going to press Ctrl V, and I'm going to paste it. So now what happens is you can see that we have the light that is following this source. Right? How cool is that? Okay, and so we're going to go to the particular. I'm going to change some settings over here. Here in the particle specific, I'm going to set that to a 1000. Here the position software, I'm going to set that to 10x linear. I'm going to set the velocity to 0, the velocity random to 0. Actually, okay, then we're going to set velocity for motion 20, same, and emitter x, y is going to set that to 0, 0, 0. So now we have this, you can see this straight line that is coming up. But do not worry, we're going to make some changes and we're going to fix that up. Actually, we want to set the velocity random to 20 and velocity from motion to 0, which will zero out this thing. Then we want to go down into the particle settings, and light, we want to set that to 0.5. you want to set the size to 3, and here we want to set color to a red color, and we're going to go to opacity of light. We're going to choose this preset, and we're going to go to the same and do the same size of light, and we're going to choose that preset. Okay, and then after that we're going to go to effects and presets, and we're going to choose a glow, and we're going to take the stylized glow. We want to dump it on the particular, and we're going to take it and dump it on our this logo as well, which we will be editing later. Okay, so now if you see, we have this motion of light that is following, but as you can see, we do not want this motion to start from here. We want it to start from here. So we're going to change that. So before we change that, let me just go here and go to 1 minute and 16 frames, and we want to end this whole motion only till 1 minute 16 frames. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go select all of these keyframes. I'm going to press Alt on the keyboard, and then I'm going to drag this in. So what it does is it uniformly drags all these keyframes into a single motion, same motion, and then it ends up at 16 frames. So here, what we want to do is we want to go and bring this, oops, we're going to select this light, and we want to bring it down. So we want to zoom in. Oops, I think let's 400 looks good. Okay, select this light. We want to move this up. Okay, I'm going to take this point and we're going to move it to this side. I'm going to take this, move it up. That's 200, and then you're going to take this point. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to drag this one down over there. We're going to take this one, move it over here. We're going to take this one, we're going to move this one over here, and we're going to select this one and move this over here. So now if we see, we have this motion which starts from here and ends over there. Okay, it's like we can edit this a little bit more. Okay, beautiful. So once that is done, we're going to go and duplicate these, and we're going to go and call this light 2, and here in the particular I'm going to go to the options and I'm going to set the light 2, and I'm going to go to the masks. I'm going to go to mask 2. Just break this down. I'm going to go to the mask path. I'm going to press Ctrl C on frame 0. Please do not forget on frame 0. And here I'm going to press P and I'm going to uncheck. I'm going to click the stopwatch to remove the keyframes. I'm going to click position. I'm going to press Ctrl V. And I'm going to go to 116 frames and I'm going to press Alt and I'm going to squeeze it down. And then here in the particular, I want to change this color to a blue color. Okay. And now when we see, we can see that we have this blue light. And as usual, we want to change the movement of these lights. So as the same way, I want the light to start from here, go to the left and come down and do that. So I'm just going to pause the video and I'm going to come back later when I finished editing the direct. Okay, so I have edited it, and as you can see, we have the movement like that, and it ends over there. Now let's just duplicate this light one last time to give it the green laser, and I'm going to go and move this up, and here in the particular I'm going to go to the options. I'm going to set that to light 3, and then here we're going to change this to a nice green color, and here in the masks we want to go and select the mask path for mask 3, and here in the light we're going to press P and position, and we are going to paste that. Oops. We're going to uncheck and we're going to paste it. We need to go to the first frame, press Ctrl V, and then we're going to go to frame 1, frame 16. After 1 second, press Alt, and we're going to drag within the same methods, whatever we followed. And fortunately, this is the only one which automatically goes and fits itself over there. Anyways, so this is the laser part. Okay, so here, next one we want to do is we want to go to this. Let's press Ctrl A, and we just want to collapse everything. And let me just move this up. God, I can't see anything. Okay, so here on freeze, we want to press T on the keyboard to get the opacity. We want to set it to 0 on frame 1, and then we want to jump to 20 frames, and we want to increase it. By the way, I just did Shift and page down to jump to the next frame, and we're going to set this to opacity 100 at frame this, and we're going to select all this, and we're going to go to right click and keyframe assistant and easy in. Sorry, not easy in, easy ease. Okay. Now we want to go to frame 1 minute and 20 frames, and then we want to take this actual original logo, and we want to go put it right on top of everything, and then we want to go and move this up to the side, and let's go to the composition settings, and let's just increase this to say just 13 seconds. You can change it later if you want. Okay, so let me just make a ramp preview in quarter and let's see what we get. Looks like it's not rendering, but anyways, as you can see here, it goes and it merges, and after it fades away we have the oops, we haven't checked this out exactly. Yeah, then we have it like kind of moving on. So we want to trim this. Actually, let's set this to 2 minutes and 10 frames, and then that's what we want to drag this out. Okay, so after all that is done, we want to come here to the last frame, and we just want to increase the solid so it stays till the end. Okay, let me just put this to 100, and on the last frame what we want to do is we want to duplicate that, Control D, and we want to go and call this DC or let's just call this logo freeze for your reference. We're gonna go right click, go to time, we want to go to freeze frame. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this apart, and we're going to go create our basic text. So we want to go here, and I'm just going to type double cube. Press Ctrl A, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to choose some crazy font, just something that, I don't know, let's just keep going, and let me try Mission Gothic, and I'm going to set this to black, and I'm going to set this to a pure, not pure white, a little bit of grayish, and we can increase the size as well. Okay, so I'm going to go take this, and I'm going to go and drop it here right at the base, and we will place it over here. So what I'm actually wanting to do is I want to go, and when the DC moves to the left, we want the double cube to move from the right with C masking it. So let me just show you how we're going to do that, and then we can get on. So we're going to go and create a new mask layer. So I'm going to go and select this, and I'm going to go and put it up till the C, and then I'm going to hide that. We want to go to frame 510, or actually let's just let's go to frame 525, and what we want to do is we want to put the logo freeze on top of the layer over here, and double cube stays at the bottom, and the shape layer has obviously been hidden. We want to change the track matte of double cube over here to Luma matte. Oops, not Luma. Alpha matte. Alpha inverted. Yes, alpha inverted. Okay. So we want to go to the frame 16 probably, and we're going to go select both of these layers, press P on the keyboard, make a stopwatch, and then we want to go to say 20 frames further, and we want to move this to the side. Okay, and we want to take this logo freeze, press U on the keyboard, and we want to move this, oops, it's my bad. We actually want to go here, and on frame 20 we want to bring this thing out. So that's kind of sitting in the middle, and here logo freeze, we want to press P on the keyboard, we're going to click on the stopwatch. Let's actually go to we want to move this keyframe over here, and then we want to move this over here. If it doesn't seem to be in the center, we can move a little bit more. We can select these two, and we can push them in, and we need to make sure that the shape layer is sitting, right beside the letter. So as you can see here, if I slowly go through frame by frame, we can see that the letters have been coming out from the edge of the C, which is exactly what we want. And we can take all this, and we can go right click and choose keyframe assistant and easy ease. So we have this nice animation reveal over here. So let's just finish up this thing with some nice color correction and a little bit of detailing, and then we're good to go. So I'm going to press Ctrl Alt Y to create a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to go and choose RSMB, that is Real Smart Motion Blur. Okay, drop it on that, and I'm going to press Ctrl Alt Y again. I'm going to take RSMB and put it on the top, and on the bottom one I'm going to use Magic Bullet Looks. So I'm just going to go and choose Looks. I'm going to double click on that, because let's go into the editor. Okay, and we're gonna be using some pretty simple ones like cool. Okay, I'm just gonna be using cool for now, and finished. And then when we see, boom, we have a completely new different looking thing. And then here in my project I have two footages. This smoke footage, you can just go to YouTube or Google and just find it out, just take a piece of it. So this is a smoke puff footage, and here I have Action Essentials 2 welding ceiling number 4. You can get that on YouTube as well if you just go. So here I'm gonna go, and I'm just gonna put this to quarter for now, and let me go to the point where these things meet. So somewhere around frame 28 after 1 second, we're gonna take this and we are going to drop it right over here. Okay, and we're gonna go and change the blending mode to add, and let me just hide the welding now. Also the smoke, I'm just gonna take that, I'm gonna press S on the keyboard. I'm just gonna set it to around 60%, and let me just actually let's set that to 40% scale. I'm just gonna take it and put it over here, and I'm gonna hide that now. I'm gonna choose the welding one, and I'm gonna take that and drop it in. Let me just hide these two things for now, the adjustment layers, because it's kind of hanging this up. Okay, so looks like this welding is too strong, so I'm gonna press the pen tool and I'm just gonna create a simple mask. Okay, and I'm gonna press MM. I'm gonna invert this and I'm gonna give it a feather, say 20%, or let's actually set that to 10. And we can take these two and we can bring them down, bring this in. Cool, something like that. Let's set that back to 100, and then we can put all this on, and now we are good to go. So let me just see if this thing does render. Makes a ramp preview, looks like cache in progress bullshit. Oh god. So here is the final ramp preview. Cool. So that is pretty much the tutorial. Thank you guys very much for watching this tutorial, and hope to see you guys in other future tutorials. I'm really sorry if there's anything that you guys felt was a little out of place, and please like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you thought the tutorial was, any other requests you guys have, or any other stuff that you need, or any specific stuff. Just drop in a comment, and that would do. So till then, have a good time, and see you in another future tutorial. Bye bye.